There and back again with news of Doctor Who. Hello guys, welcome. If you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian. And yes guys, it was sunny outside today before it started raining, so I do have my sun straw hat on. I admit I was just too lazy to take it off until after I started doing this video. Hope you can forgive me. Also guys, if you are new to my channel, I am warning you now, so you might want to put this down if you can't stand videos like this. I am one of those notorious YouTubers that sits in front of the camera and just talks. Nothing fancy going on. No fancy title sequences coming after this. Oh, no pictures. Just me sitting there, old-fashioned gal talking, because that's the kind of girl I am. So yes, without further ado, let's get into the topic that we're discussing today. The idea of the Ninth Doctor, aka played by Chris Eccleston, returning to Doctor Who in Big Finish. If you have not heard this news before, I realize now I should have clarified. Yes, there was the announcement of Chris Eccleston returning to the role of the Ninth Doctor in Big Finish of Doctor Who. Okay, those who have seen my channel before know that this is my biggest problem with Chris Eccleston, was him not returning to play the Doctor. Not because I have any emotional connection to him. I treat him like I pretty much treat every other Doctor in regards to I don't regard him more special than other Doctors, which is very controversial to a lot of the fandom who automatically thinks, oh yeah, he's the best Doctor of all time. Guys, if you think that, awesome, good for you. I don't regard him higher than any other actor playing the Doctor, nor his Doctor higher than any other Doctor. And truth be told, if you have seen my channel before, you know for a fact, again, those people who love the Doctor, I mean the Ninth Doctor, and think this is the best news ever, good for you. I am happy for you. This is what I always wanted for you, even if I didn't care for it myself. But when it comes to the Ninth Doctor, if you don't know this about me, again, I honestly view the Ninth Doctor as, he's there for a year, and I see why people love him, but I don't. That's just simple put. I don't hate the guy. I mean, I don't hate the Ninth Doctor, but I don't like him either. There were certain things during his run that I was not that crazy about, and led to problems happening later on in the series, when it came to how the Doctor should be viewed, and, through a romantic, what the Doctor could have a romantic attraction to, but also his Doctor needed to be saved a lot, and also had this whole complex where, because the Time War happened, it gave him the excuse to be a bit of a dick. I know the Doctor is a dick to begin with, but there were certain things the Doctor did in his run that I said, whoa, that was just cold-heartedly mean and slightly evil. That being said, the Doctor always has that to his nature, but there were just certain things with the Ninth Doctor I was like, whoa, that's really, I can't stand to see. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Doctor? That's just cold-hearted. That being said, I know other people think of him as the best. Good for you. And my ultimate feelings of Chris Eccleston returning to the part of the Ninth Doctor. As I said before, because when it comes to Chris Eccleston's history with the show, this is where I feel like people might start putting words in my mouth. Even when, he left because of the reasons he left for. He did not feel supported. He felt like he was in a hostile environment. I always understood that. If you think I did not understand that, guys, I'm telling you right now, I love you, but that's you altering my argument. I never support that idea of he should have stayed and it's something that was hurtful to him. No, leave if something is hurtful to you. My problem, and this is where it all came down to, was he never came back for the people who loved him. And when there was a regime change and Moffat took over, he never came back. When Moffat asked him to come back, he didn't even care. And it's like, wait a minute. Dude, fans want to see you. Moffat is not Russell T Davies. Why are you putting your experience with the RTD era on Moffat? That's not fair to Moffat. It's not fair to your fans to not come back for them. This is you, whatever pain that you've experienced. The only people who suffer for this, you not returning, are the people who love you, aka your fans and Moffat, which it did hurt him that Chris Eccleston did not return. So that's where the main problem with him lay when it came to that situation. It's not that he left. I understand leaving when you are in a hostile environment. My problem is when it's safer or you don't check it out and come back, when people need you to come back and be there for them and they love you. Because that means you don't care about the people who love you, you only care about yourself. And my brain does not compute that. I've never been able to understand the idea of not being there for people who love you and not being there for your fans. And again, if your reminder is, oh, well, Chris Eccleston went through this really terrible ordeal, okay. If you want to, I can write in the comment section all the horrible things I've endured in the entertainment industry, be it theater and film, mostly theater. I can guarantee you, whatever Chris Eccleston went through, I went through way worse. In fact, Chris, if you watch this video, write down what you went through, and I can tell you all of the horrible things I've endured under directors, producers, etc. and so forth. Things that will shock you and make you really shit your pants. That's what I've gone through, but never was I not there for fans. What I mean by that is, there was a couple situations in my life where I was told by people, why don't you leave? You are in a hostile, violent environment. You literally will always suffer through abuse. And I didn't leave for two people. One, for the people, directors who were nice to me in that same environment, but also for the audiences. The audiences kept coming back and they were great fans, and I loved them. What I'm saying is I don't understand the mentality of not thinking of your fandom, even when you're in a bad situation. You leave, of course you leave, you're in a bad situation, but once that situation is over and done with, you have to patch up your wounds, stop playing the victim, and you come back. That's what I'm talking about, being there for your fandom. So I was never crazy about Chris Eccleston because, and I admit, Chris Eccleston, I was never that crazy about you because you showed a lack of consideration for your fandom or for people who were different than the regime that hurt you, and you kind of accidentally, without knowing it, by not coming back for the people who care about you, the people who suffered was not the people who attacked you, but those who loved you. See what I'm getting at? Being a victim or going through a painful situation, if the people who suffer for it are the people who do love you, then that's when you're victimhood, or you need to stop feeling like a victim and just be there for them. That's all it is. So now he's come back and now he's willing to play the doctor in Big Finish. This is wonderful, Chris. I'm happy you're coming back for the sake of your fans, because now, my God, you're being there for them. This is what I always wanted for them. Even if I was not crazy about your doctor, I was always happy at the idea of you coming back for the fans who love you. This is perfect. This is wonderful. I am proud of you in that regard. But here comes the other reason why I was never too crazy about Chris Eccleston. Chris, again, I love that you're there for your fans. I'll make it very clear. For those people who are like, oh my God, how dare she not be happy that Chris is returning? How dare she not love Chris? One, each to his own. I can't change how I feel. But that being said, if you love Chris, I totally respect it. I dig it. And Chris, you go there and you be as awesome as you've ever been. You're a talented actor, regardless of what I feel. And I'm still proud of you. So I'm one of those people. I can be proud of someone and still be like, wait a minute, what did you just say? At the same time, I don't blindly follow anyone. I listen to what you say in correlation to how you do. Actions and words, do they correlate? And this is one time where I don't feel like the actions and the words correlate. What I mean by that is, here's my other problem with Chris Eccleston. Initially, my only problem was that he did not come back for his fans and did not come back for Moffat during the day of the Doctor. I'm like, that's just hurtful to your fans and to Moffat. But then I got past this, so that's who he is, fine. But when it reemerged, again, my slight apprehension towards you, Chris, was when the 13th Doctor was cast as Jodie Whittaker. You said some things, and this is not me making this up. Guys who love Chris Eccleston, I am not lying. I saw the interviews, I heard what he said. And he literally said the Doctor has been a man for long enough, and was outraged at the idea the Doctor was not a man earlier. While at the same time, here he is. During Jodie Whittaker's run, back playing the Doctor. And he's a man. An older white guy. Still a handsome, youngest white guy, but he's still older in regards to not being fully, like, in his 20s. Chris Eccleston, are an older white guy coming back to play the Doctor during the run of the female Doctor, when you stated the Doctor has been a man for long enough and the Doctor should have been a man the entire time. Which I always found that amazing, because you say the Doctor should have been a man since New Who began, which he did say. I saw the interview. He did say things like this. The Doctor should have been a man from the very beginning, and Rose Tyler should have been the Doctor. No, she shouldn't have. But Rose Tyler should have been the Doctor, etc. and so forth. He said these things, while at the same time, my brain was thinking, well, if you really felt this way, then why did you ever take on the part to begin with? No, seriously. Why did you take it on? You say that the doctor should have been a woman since your time, but you took the part anyway, and you only left because, not because you had any problems with the doctor's gender, it was because you had a problem with the Doctor Who staff. So, what, Chris? Wait a minute, hang on. Chris, you're saying one thing, but then you're turning around doing a complete different thing at the same time. Which is it? And also, you talked about how you were proud of your run. Eventually, you began to talk about how you were proud of your run, and you began to show your episodes to your son. But then at the same time, you were talking about how the Doctor had been a man for long enough. So I'm wondering, do you have a problem with the Doctor being a man? Or are you okay being the Doctor, but other men can't be the Doctor? What is it? No, seriously, I'm not reading into this too much. I'm reading into it in the exact way you said it. You say one thing, but your actions are being completely contradictory, because even though I'm happy, you're back playing the Doctor for the sake of your fandom. This does not correlate with the things you've been saying before. At all. Like, really at all. So, say what you mean what you say, man. You're saying one thing, but you're doing another. You, an older white guy, not an old white guy, but an older white guy, are coming back to play a role during the time of the female Doctor in Big Finish, while saying, repeatedly have said in the past, recent past, the Doctor should have been a woman almost the entire time of New Who, and the Doctor has been a man for long enough. So when you say the Doctor was a man long enough, it's like what I said before in my previous video, where I had a problem with you. It's like it seems like you're not talking about your time as a Doctor, but you were belittling the men who came after you, their time as a Doctor, and how the Doctor should have been a woman instead of them. That's what it feels like. What are you... These actions don't correlate. And that's why I feel like, when it comes to this industry, it's like, especially Doctor Who, do you feel like everybody feels fake all of a sudden? Like, I'm talking to you, the audience. I feel like they say one thing, but do they really believe it? Or do they only believe it in respect to how they can gain from it? Do they gain some points from it? And they use it as a stepping stone, but do they really believe it? It's really difficult to tell because, again, Chris, you said one thing, then you acted in another way. And if your reaction, the audience, if your reaction is, oh, well, it's Big Finish, it's not the real show. Okay, there are many people who look at Big Finish as just as part as the real show as anybody else. I admit I'm not a Big Finish person, but there are people who definitely take Big Finish seriously. It is still Doctor Who to them in every sense of the word. It is still as important as the show. So an older white guy, is coming back to play the Doctor during the females era, which, guys, if Chris Eccleston had never said those words of how the Doctor should be a woman, should have been a woman before, I wouldn't care one iota about him coming back and playing 9. That would make perfect sense to me. I'm okay with any actor coming back to play the Doctor in Big Finish during another Doctor's era. It's not the action of him coming back I've got a problem with. It's the words he said before in correlation to him coming back. Does that make any sense? Chris, you said the Doctor should have been a woman. You're all about the Doctor being a woman, but you're back as a man. An old white guy. Which Jodie Whittaker even said she could not even watch the original classic show because she couldn't bear the idea of watching an old white guy in the part. You are an older white guy. You fall into that category. You're not like old, you're not Grandpa Moses old, but you're still like, a distinguished man of a handsome age. And you're still a handsome guy, but you are a white guy who's, of a middle age. And you can fall into that category of people that you said the female doctor said she couldn't bear to watch. You were in that category. Now you're back, even though you support that message. What is it? Help me, I don't understand. Because I'm all about, say what you mean what you say. And those people who say, oh, well, he's back, just be happy. Why are you questioning this? Guys, don't tell me what to do. I'm not saying that people in the audience, you're all going to tell me what to do. I'm just trying to prepare myself for those who might. And you're thinking, oh, I'm reading too far into this. No, guys, I don't go into things blindly. I look at what's being presented to me and I analyze it. Because I have a right to. We all should not always blindly follow people. Sometimes we should question. that's important to do sometimes. So I have every right to wonder, wait a minute, yes, I'm happy you're back, but this is not really consistent with things you've been preaching. I have a right to ask these questions. That's all it is. If you are happy he's back no matter what, you don't care what he said in the past, hey, good for you. And Chris Eccleston, you're back. Your fans deserve this. I'm happy that you are back for their sake. But I have to ask these questions because it's like, wait a minute, what? I don't follow things blindly. I just can't do it. And if you are happy no matter what, you're not blind. I'm not calling you blind. I'm just saying I do things differently. Please respect that. That's all it is. And again, Chris, I'm happy you're back for your fans. People, Eccleston fans, I'm happy he's back for you guys. It's all good. I just don't know what to think because, again, he says one thing, does another. I don't know what to feel about that. That's all how it is. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think about, Chris Eccleston returning to Doctor Who. If you're completely indifferent one way or the other, I know how you feel. If you're happy about it, that's awesome. You don't care whatsoever, that's awesome too. We're all right to feel as we feel, as long as we respect other people while we're feeling these things, and we respect each other's views while we're voicing our own views. Please try to remember that while you're commenting. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. I'll see you again very soon. I promise. I totally will. Bye, guys.